Candace, do you have to be fit to be a fitness coach?
I'm going to say yes, but everyone's definition of fitness or fit is so personal, it's so individual, right? And fit is going to look a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
It's going to feel a lot of different ways. It's going to depend on your goals. Specifically, though, I think everyone can say, genuinely, we know that fit has a look and feel.
Yeah.
Now, going beyond that, do you need to be a bodybuilder? Do you need to be absolutely sliced and diced? Absolutely not.
Yep.
I don't think that is the goal, but there's a couple things that stand out to me. I put some notes that I can go into detail on, but I want to hear your answer before I grant. Because you're going to say no.
No, I would say, no, I agree with you. I think yes, but we have to define fit, right? So when I define fit, my definition of fit is along the lines of your controllable fitness measures are good. Simple, right? Your controllable measures of fitness are in a good place. So, because when I think about it, I'm just like, there's some things that some people can't control, right? If I have type 1 diabetes, what can I do about that? Am I just like not fit now? It's like, well, no, not necessarily. So I think the controllable fitness measures thing is really, really important. Now let's identify what controllable fitness measures are. There are things like, and some of these, all of these are individualized because some people can or can't control these. It would be like A1C, right? It would be like, do you have any of the 5 measures of metabolic syndrome? It would be, do you fall within healthy ranges of body fat percentages? It would be, we'll get to this in a moment, but it'll be around, what are you actually doing on a daily basis, right? How are you controlling those controllables in your actions? So none of them is, to your point, none of them are like, I'm diced up because I'm a bodybuilder. I'm cleaning 400 pounds. I'm back squatting 600 pounds. It's like, yeah, that stuff might be cool, but in a lot of instances, that actually takes people away from being a really, really good coach. It takes a really special person to be elite in any one thing in terms of like fitness, let's call it exercise, to be more specific, and also be a really good coach. Because usually the people that are really elite in one specific area don't have those characteristics of a really good coach, right? All about other people, I want to help, all of those things, right? Some people do, but those are special traits where they're able to put all that time, energy, and effort into themselves and still like pour out and care for other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we talk about this a lot, and it goes for any industry today. I think, obviously people do business with people they like or admire, but when you're hiring a coach, you're hiring someone you look up to. You pointed this out in one of the more recent videos that we did, but there has to be something about what you present to the market that makes someone say, I want to hire this person. Yeah. And so if that is you living up to the promises that you're putting in market that you're going to deliver, if that's you embodying the lifestyle that you're encouraging your clients to take on, that to me is like how I would define like the requirement of a coach. Yeah.
So we both agree, yes, right? Like you should embody those things to be a good fitness coach, but nowhere in there did we say like you have to have elite levels of strength or endurance or anything like that to be a good fitness coach. But you have to, and this is something that I have in my living room, right? That like I look at and my wife looks at and my kids look at every single day on like our values, and one of them is practice what you preach, but only preach what you practice, right? So. And I know that's like a personal value, right? But I think that's so important in this industry, right? It's like practice what you preach, but only preach. Like it's like this rule that keeps us honest, right? It's like I'm not going to tell you to do something if I'm unwilling to do it. I'm not going to tell you to do something if I don't have the abilities to do it. In essence, right? I don't mean like I'm telling you to back squat 600 and I can't do that because I can't. No, it's not that. It's I'm telling you to be consistent in your nutrition routine. And it's like, well, dude, I look at you and you have like Burger King in your office every single day, right? Or it's like, I'm telling you how to do X, Y, and Z, and I've never done X, Y, and Z, or even cared about X, Y, and Z in my entire life. So I think that's really, really important that a coach practices what they preach.
Absolutely. And I think that depends on like who you're coaching and what your specialization is. If you're, an elite level power lifter working with other power lifters that are competing, you should have that level of experience, in my opinion, because there are so many nuances that go into what happens competition day, how you peak for a particular event, what happens in between attempts, your attempt selections. There's so many nuances that if you are not actively putting yourself in that environment and experiencing that, you are going to be less likely to empathize with the client on the other end when you're prescribing, or even know the right prescription levels. So I think it depends on like what audience you're serving but again, practice what you preach and preach what you practice.
Yeah, I think, on that, right, I think, because we have to, at some point, we have to differentiate between I'm training someone to be the best in the world at something versus I'm just like, I just want this person to be healthy, right? Like, I think that those two avatars are so different. And I actually think you can, if you're training someone to be the best at something in the world, I think that you get more slack, right? Like, I think that, because if I'm training someone to, be the best weightlifter that they can be, and I've never actually competed at a high level in weightlifting, but I've been coaching weightlifting for 25 years. There's a possibility that I could be a really good
osmosis.
coach. Yeah, I always bring up Bill Belichick. It's like Bill Belichick, ex-coach of the Patriots, arguably the best coach to ever do it in the NFL. It's like, that guy wasn't a good football player, right? Like, he wasn't even a football player. He was a lifelong coach, as he started coaching at like 17 years old, right? So it's just like, am I gonna say like, well, Bill, because you're not, I'm calling him Bill like I know him. Well, Mr. Belichick, just because, you haven't done, what you're asking Ray Lewis to do, or you're asking Tom Brady to do, you can't do it, or you can't coach them against that. It's like, no, I think that's a little bit different. But if it's like Candace, and Candace is 400 pounds and has never moved a weight in her life and just doesn't care or prioritize her health, for her to go next door and to say like, hey, do you want me to coach you in fitness, to her next door neighbor, they're just gonna be like, no, I don't think I'm gonna take my advice from you, right? Or if I go to a dentist and I lean back in the chair and this dentist is about to do like this like dental surgery on me, and they smile at me and they're missing every one of their teeth, I'm probably going to get up and walk out of there, because I'm not going to trust them, because they're not actually practicing what they're preaching. So yeah, I think it's important, more so for the health and wellness side of things, less so for the performance side. But I agree with you that it could help for someone to be able to empathize with like how it feels and blah blah blah. But they might be able to, they might be able to empathize just because they have so much experience coaching someone through it. So yeah, I mean, we can go on that all day, but I think at the end of the day with fitness, we have to identify a North Star, right? Like, what is the goal of fitness? I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here.
Okay.
So if I had to put you on the spot and say like, okay, independent of everyone's goals, and this isn't performance, this is just like health, and we want everyone to, live as long as they can in the most healthy way that they can. What would your North Star be as it relates to fitness? Very open-ended, so it could be like a type of exercise, a mindset, what they're doing. Like, what would your North Star be for health and longevity?
I guess just a genuine waking up with a desire to get better, whatever better looks like in your life every single day. Moving every single day, even if that's getting up and going out for a walk, but just being active with your body, and it's having some type of resistance training on a regular basis, a couple times a week at minimum. Just from putting yourself through challenges physically, obviously is going to support more lean mass and have all of the health benefits, but also just putting yourself through challenges is going to sharpen you mentally and help build that desire to want to get better every single day.
Nice. I'll put you on the spot, and in my opinion, you nailed it. I would say all of those things, but I would just say like, let's let consistency be our North Star, right? And like in people's health, right? True. So it's like, because we can get down into the nuances, which I think we actually should, right? When we start talking about, well, what do I need to be consistent against? But as a coach, it's like, I think we just need to teach our clients like, hey, I'm going to give you these things. your only goal is to be as consistent as possible against these things, right? And it's just like, imagine the changes in people's lives if they're coming from doing nothing to doing something extremely consistently. Now it doesn't matter. Like you might end up being an expert program designer, even if you have no experience there, because you just took this person that was doing nothing and you got them to be really consistent against what you gave them. Whether that's biking every single day, lifting weights whatever the case is, just like get them to do something consistently. So that like North Star metric, in my opinion, is just like, how consistent are you at doing the thing? How consistent are you at doing fitness? So if we kind of going back to the question here is, do you have to be fit to be a fitness coach? You have to be extremely consistent in your own fitness to be a good fitness coach, in my opinion. So controlling the controllables, those controllable health measures are in a good place and you're extremely consistent. I think a lot of things come from those two ideas.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I had 3 points in my notes, and that was like teaching through experience, or teaching what you know. And then if you're consistent with your own fitness journey and you're disciplined through that plays a lot of a role in you continuing to learn. Practicing what you preach, which you hit on that one really eloquently. And then the last one was just being a good representation of the thing that you're selling.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that actually says it all, right? Be a good representation of what you're asking other people to do. So I think we agreed on this one.
Cool.
Awesome.